Yeah, and masculine, feminine, no big bang. You're just looking for what stands out of this, like I'm just looking at the signs. We're not even taking it into the houses at this point. Just looking at the signs and the basic attitude of person. So basically, this is a follow me exactly this way, not follow me or tell me what to do. So you can see again how these are all on the one side of the seesaw versus the other things. So there's what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And there's the others, or those that are trying to, if someone's trying to tell me how to do it, trying to impinge on it, or like, it's the focus and the power is certainly on the I, me, and doing it my way. And it can be very communicative and expressive with a Virgo moon and a Gemini and the Gemini rising. There's need to express what one's doing, know what one's doing. And with the Leo, there's need to be, you're going to have the strong sense of self with it. Now, I'm not looking for more than, I'm just kind of looking at these three things just as a basic run-in. So we see this, and then as we go on, as we go through the different point countings, we're going to see if they hold the same or if they're different, or how the points come up, if anything. If it gets, you're going to expect it to almost be reinforced by these patterns, but sometimes it's not, and you want to see how these distinctions are. It just helps you to distinguish the implications, or get a better perspective on the points. So we've done the first two. So I hope you're using this Excel sheet to do your points. It makes these, but you can do it. You can count it and use the other sheet if you want. It's just, this is easy to see and nice to organize, and nicely organized. So when we just put the planets in, so just glancing at the keywords, I am, I think, I feel, I will, and I analyze. I analyze is 5. I will is 3. The rest are all ones. I am, I have, I think, I feel. I desire, I use, I know, I believe. I understand and I balance are the one, and I have are the least. So you wouldn't say so. You're seeing the strong, analytical, and the willful. You just the Sun in Leo and the Moon in Virgo with the other planets with it. Okay, so you don't get stuck there. Just they're usually more affirmations. When you look at the daylight increasing or darkness increasing, 10 points, nighttime is increasing. So for 10 to 4, it's a very strong accentuation. There's a new need. I'm doing this. I'm doing it. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing it to belong. I'm doing it to be part of something. I'm being me, but I want to be part of things. So let me do this for you. So you can get the sense of being in a relationship. She would want to make the relationship happen, do things for the relationship, prove things to the relationship, but not follow the relationship. Do things for it, identify to it, and add to it, but not so much follow it. So again, you see the two sides of the seesaw. Just remember then, but even though the darkness is increasing, and then that's the momentum to belonging. I'm trying to belong. I'm doing this to be part of something. I want to be part of a team, and I want to be best so I can be part of a team in my way, a part of a group. I don't want to be alone. Yet the daylight greater is 11 points, and the darkness is greater 3 points. So it's far more independent than belonging. I'm doing my thing, but I want to do it for you. In a marriage, that could easily be translated as, yes, dear, yes, dear. Okay, thank you, dear. That's okay. Why don't you do this? No, you wouldn't say that. Can't tell the Leo what to say. So I'm just playing with these associations simply because the idea of the darkness increasing is the momentum to belonging, to be part of something, to have your relationship with others be meaningful. So I want something that I'm doing that can be meaningful for others, but I still got to be, this is what I do. Okay, and the daylight is greater. I'm just being me. I got to do it my way. So relationships, it's funny. In one way, relationships would have to be the add-on. I'm doing my thing. Someone's going to come in and like what I'm doing and add on to me. But in adding on to me, I would have to, or the person coming in would have to, I'm mad at being an add-on to you, but I'm letting you do what you want to do. So I'm adding to you, but I'm not telling you. It's just a funny little balance. So you just play with these ideas. I'm not trying to define it. I just want to get used to using the numbers and going the steps. That's enough. You got something from it. You see it. You don't just leave it as, oh, it's just a point and you run by. You stop it from it and say, okay, what does that imply? So with the seesaw and the pattern type, she's going to be pushing to make her do her own thing, move into the future. And it's going to be caught between doing my thing and belonging, the seesaw, between being me and in here and going out and taking care of the rent or whatever, paying for things. Like, that puzzle is there. So these are general things. They're just enough to see these patterns, and you should be able to see them in your own life. And when they're starting to be more extreme like this, they're noticeable. The person knows it and is wondering about that balance. When you look at the cardinal, fixed, immutable, we got 2 cardinal, 5 fixed, 7 mutable. It's kind of like the sun, moon, or ascendant. There was no cardinal there, but there was the fixed and the immutable were strong. But here there is a bit of cardinal, but really the adaptable is the adjusting, the fixing things, the changing things, the moving around things, finding a way of doing things. This is the mutable, the Gemini, the Virgo moon. This is the 7 mutable. And the determination, I'm going to hang in there. So there's some staying power and some adaptability, but still not that much drive. That would be the outstanding thing. Person who can multitask, but is not inclined to push too hard at any one thing. So it's just, or she'll have her own way of when you're doing it yourself, you see it more specifically. When you're talking about someone else, you don't know what all that. You just expect this pattern to be there. When you look at winter, spring, summer, and fall, 9 points in summer, 2 winter, 2 spring, 1 autumn. I can't say much about the others, but summer is the active time of the year. So then you look at the fire, water, air, earth, 4, 2, 5, 3. That's fairly even. There's not fairly. There's the practical side stands out, which is that moon and Virgo and all the Virgo things. It brings out the practical side. There's a practical side, a tactile side. I like the word tactile. I mean, make things alive and real and physical in the moment. So that's the outstanding side here. There is fire. There's enthusiasm. There's emotions. There's the water. There wasn't in the other factors, but there's 3 points in water. And air, even though the Gemini ascendant, the communication is the least. You communicate of all of these. So that's what you want to see. You're just seeing this basic practicality and how does it show? Practical enthusiasm, earth and fire. You know, like sympathetic communication, that would be the weaker element. The masculine and feminine, 8 feminine, 6 masculine. So this is just a small division, but it's the first. So here's where a little more reflective than projective. So even though she's the Leo and would project, the Virgo moon is stronger, and the Virgo is reflective. So she has this counting points, a reflective side. So when you're doing this for your exam or to get this level done, you just have to give, here's the points and here's the example of how it works in my life, just like we did with the planets and the signs and houses. And that's enough. It's not defining it. It's just an overview, a basic pattern and energy that's there. It's a bit of statistics as to, out of all these points, which ones are accentuated. You're getting into some of the places where you could start doing statistical analysis of a chart. How many people have this many points or this many points of this or that? And what are they doing? Basic astrology research. So we got the theory. We're applying it to your chart. This is my whole way of teaching is learn it in your chart, and then once you know it in your chart, you're free to apply it to other people's charts and see how other people are different. Okay, here we have the rulerships. So when you have the rulerships, the sun has 2 points for the sun being in Leo, it rules itself. The Mercury is 1 point, get the 3 points ruled by the sun. The moon rules Cancer, and only Venus is in Cancer, so it only has 1 point that it rules. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, so even though it's in Leo, it still rules the ascendant, Uranus, Pluto, Moon, and Mars. So there's still 6 points that Mercury is important, the mind, the thinking, and how to communicate and go forward and have something to give to others, to relate to others. You begin to see why an interest in astrology would be really alert or a fulfilling factor. Venus rules Libra and Taurus. There's no planets there. So the Venus, her values aren't really ruling anything. Her mind is. Mars, 2 points for action. Mars rules the Aries, the Jupiter in Aries, and the Neptune in Scorpio. So there's 2 planets that it rules. Jupiter has 1 planet that it rules, which is the midheaven, not a planet. Saturn rules 1, and it's in Aquarius. It rules its own planet, so it's a ruler. But Mercury by far is the most outstanding, influential planetary ruler. So it's important to think right, to think good, to think bad, to be honest, to think right, to think honest, to have a good perspective, to be alert to life. If those things are damaged, boy, it will have a big effect on the life. So education, knowledge, expressing, learning, these are really the most highlighted factors from this rulership. Okay, that's enough. We've gone through, you can go back and check them out, but they're just sitting in the back and in your mind, and you're just realizing these patterns are there. They're add-ons to the planets and the signs and the houses. It's just a good overview to start with. If you just do the planets and the signs and houses, you won't see when there's big extremes. You know, when you won't see the big extremes like the 10 darkness increasing, or the 11 daylight is greater, or the 9 summer planets. They won't stand out as distinctly. So that lets you see the groupings. When you get to the houses, so in our point system, we go through the signs, elements, rulerships up to 10 points. Then we just have the next 5 for the houses. Okay, and on your point sheet, it gives you the basic meanings. It just reminds you of the basic meanings of each of these, so that you're going to go in and say, well, I have this point. You know, when you're doing the quadrants, you're not doing each quadrant. You're just doing a comment at the end of it. Well, I've got more of this than that, or more of that than this, and I can see it like this.